This is not going to be like your typical breakdown where I'm just going to go long-winded and talk about what fights are going to look like and this, that, the other. I'm just going to tell you my honest opinion so far as to who's going to win and yeah, the over 1.5 hitting or not hitting. So we're going to start right with the main event here. I'm going to go the opposite way from main event down to the bottom here. The fight, of course, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane is a heavyweight fight. It's a title fight and it's 5 rounds. Very interesting there. Now, obviously, this is not a it's not for me a very like hot take, but I think yeah, Aspinall he's gonna be the favorite probably. We're gonna keep your eyes on the line here. Heavyweight fights are crazy, but yeah, I mean, he's a rightful favorite here, and I think that as far as likelihood of it going over 1.5 rounds, which is 7 minutes and 30 seconds, I would say it's like a coin flip, man. I think 55%, maybe 60% of the time, I think it does go there over 1.5. But I wouldn't parlay this, And it's heavyweight title fight, has so typically it's going to go over 1.5 rounds. Title fights do, but I mean Aspinall's explosive, right? And he has that finishability. I mean, he always finishes in the first round. I mean, this guy just gets out there. But we have to just make sure that you're looking at the weigh-ins. Make sure you're looking at their stories and their Instagram and stuff like that and just kind of see how it's going to match up. But I mean, so far I think he should win it, and I think it's with this one over 1.5. I would say just like if you have really crazy good odds on it, I would say go ahead and you can sprinkle on that just if you want, but I would not parlay that. And yeah, I think that's just not. I'm not really looking forward to that one. Next fight. So we got Verna Jandarova versus Mackenzie Dern here. Women's strawweight title fight, 5 rounds. I mean, look, I think Jandarova is the pick here. Yeah, she's just been showing a lot of momentum, and she's dangerous. I think it's probably going to win a decision here, which means, of course, I am pretty much like 70% sure that it's going to go over 1.5 rounds. I think it's a good parlay leg. We got grappler versus grappler. I mean, we're at a lighter weight here, and I'm more likely to engage in like kind of like a grappling kind of position battle here. That's going to kind of chip away at the minutes on the clock. So I do think, yeah, it goes over 1.5. That's a good parlay leg. And I think Jandaroba money line is good so far. But yeah, we'll see how the odds reflected. So that's my pick so far. On to the next one. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. Bantamweight fight, 3 rounds. Look, Nurmagomedov is a likely favorite. He's probably going to be juiced to craziness. So I think I'm going to try to get him in a parlay. I think money line is okay. And I'm like, yeah, I think it does go over 1.5 rounds, 65, 70% of the time. It's going to go. I mean, it's styles make matchups, right, guys? So I mean, this kind of fight right here is going to, be a lot of control time. Wrestling, they're both going to have decent defense. So I think it's going to be interesting if they can actually try to get a takedown on each other and how long they can keep each other there. I think it's going to be a lot of scrambling, and also they're not really known for their early finishes. So yeah, I mean, I'd say two good parlay legs right there. Nurmagomedov money line, and then the over 1.5 rounds. So yeah, I think it's good. Alexander Volkov versus Gelton Almeida. That's a heavyweight fight, 3 rounds, man. I think it's interesting. I'm actually kind of leaning Volkov, but I'm not too confident in that. And I think going over 1.5, I think that's a maybe. That's a strong maybe. 55% times, it probably does go. I mean, it is heavyweight, so I mean, to 6-1 punch to really change the outcome of the fight. And they both got, like I said, they're both big guys. They can show that they have power. They're not known for like super crazy, one shot KO power necessarily, maybe, but I mean, yeah, they still got power. The big boys. I mean, but it could go long because Volkov, tends to kind of drag it out. Not really known for getting that really early finish, but there is still risk there. So, I mean, like I said, if the odds are good, you can go ahead and sprinkle that over 1.5 itself. I don't think there's a need to parlay that, dude. Nah. And even money line, I think Volkov, I think that's dangerous for a money line too. So, I would just either just sprinkle on it or just pass maybe. Yeah. And the next one I'm going on next fight, Alexander Ratchik versus Azamat Murzakanov. I mean, it's light heavyweight, 3 rounds. I think I'm leaning Murzakanov here just because he's like a dangerous finisher. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's it's light heavyweight, big guys here. And this one, I'm not really like the over 1.5 for this. I think that's kind of obvious, but I mean, I think if I don't know, it might even go under 1.5. Really, it's like I gotta give it 45% chance, maybe like just slightly. It's like worse. It's like worse than a coin flip, maybe, right? A big coin over 1.5. I mean, Murzakinov's, he's got those finishing instincts, man. And Ratchik's recent inconsistency. I mean, he's gotten injured, that knee injury and stuff. Makes it like I think a finish could actually happen here. So I actually wouldn't mind the fight doesn't go the distance on this. actually instead. So, take that with what you will. Now we're going to go down here to the preliminary cards, right? We got Ikram Aliskera versus Jung Young Park. His middleweight. We got 3 rounds here. And yeah, I mean, I'm slightly leaning Aliskera up here. Not saying I'm going to, it's not necessarily a good parlay leg, but I am leaning it. And even though over 1.5, I would say it's a maybe on this. I would say it's more likely to go over 1.5 than the Ratchik's fight. But yeah, I mean, middleweight bouts, they both have decent durability, and there's not really like a heavy like finish style to it, if you want to put it that way, like finishing ability. So I could see it going over, but I mean I would say maybe 55% of the time it goes over 1.5. So not the most confident that on the money line or the 1.5. So take that with what you will. And going down here, next fight, Abdul Karim Al Sawaldi versus Mateus Camillo. It's a lightweight fight, 3 rounds here. So and I am leaning Al Sawaldi here. I think, and as far as going over 1.5 rounds, I'm not like, it's like a maybe. It's a strong maybe. 50% chance, I guess. I would say. Might be like a coin flip because Camille is like less experienced. Also, Aldi has stoppage, history. I mean, if you look down at his fights, I mean, he's got stoppages there. So, yeah, I would say, I would actually even, I think fight doesn't go the distance could happen here. I think I'm not saying to parlay that, but I think I might like the fight doesn't go the distance as opposed to over 1.5 for this one. So, yeah, take that with, put that in your little notes there. But anyway, let's go down here. Next fight here. Hamdi Abdelwahab. He's coming back, man. He's coming back. Little favorite there. Versus Chris Barnett. Another fan favorite right there. Heavyweight, 3 rounds. Crazy, sloppy fight, maybe. I think I got to slightly lean, Abdelwahab. Abdelwahab. I have to practice his pronunciation. But yeah. And over 1.5 for this, I mean, I think it's unlikely. I don't know. Maybe like a 30 to 40% chance of it going over 1.5 rounds. But, they're heavyweights that alone, and they're big boys, They're both, they have power, they have finishing ability. Just I think I would say like more likely to finish. Yeah, early. I think almost the under 1.5. I think I would either like sprinkle on. If the odds are okay for under 1.5, I'd rather sprinkle on that than the over 1.5. Unless it's like crazy odds on over 1.5 for a little degenerate sprinkle, you could do that. But yeah, look at the odds, guys. So see it. I mean, I think it more likely does go over, under 1.5 than it does over 1.5. But if the odds are really crazy on over 1.5, yeah, you can spring on that. If they're super crazy on under 1.5, you could actually spring on that too. But yeah, I think fight doesn't go distance is more likely. Yeah, so let's go on next fight, guys. Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo. Flyweight, 3 rounds here. So, and I am leaning Maxim here. And I would say over 1.5. I mean, yeah, it's more likely going to go over 1.5 than it isn't. I'm not saying it's a super solid parlay leg, but I would put that in a, two-legger, maybe like 60% of the time, 65% of the time, I think, goes over 1.5. I mean, it's flyweights. So, division, I'm sorry. Yeah, they have like, obviously like not that the greatest KO power usually. And, it's fairly matched, I think. Chance of it going to round 2 is way higher, and of course over 1.5 is decent as well. So yeah, I think not gonna overlook it, overthink it too much. But I think it's a decent parlay leg. And then let's go on the next fight: Jacqueline Amarim versus Mizuki Inoue. It's kind of interesting one here. Inoue has been gone for a long time. Got to root for her, from Japan. But it's a women's strawweight, 3 rounds here. And actually, but as far as the lean here, I'm gonna have to go with Amarim here. She's got the momentum on her side, more power. And I think over 1.5, I think it's a solid maybe. Maybe like 55% of the time it goes maybe to over 1.5. I mean, she has a finishing streak. That's why I always say that. And anyways, like returning after a layoff, like I said, and possibly early finish, but they've got some durability. So I think there's a moderate chance for a longer fight here. I wouldn't be just surprised at going over, but I think it's decent. Over 1.5 is fine for this. I think even Amram in a parlay is okay. Yeah, and just for fun and for like little for me because living in Japan, I think it's kind of fun to cheer for Mizuki here. But yeah, how's she gonna look after all that? I mean, I want to see who she's gonna be training with. You gotta check out the Instagram and whatnot. And probably not posting much, which could be good or bad. Like she's not doing like a crazy, attention seeking kind of, YouTube esque stuff. If you want to put it that way. So I think those are my picks for the fights, guys. And the over 1.5s. I mean, that's as it might change as the week goes on. So make sure that you are following, that you're subscribing, comment what you're liking here, and I think that I think over 1.5 for a few of these I think are very solid to do, and a couple of the money lines. But We gotta go as the week goes. We gotta go as the week goes. What the f does that mean? We got to make sure that you're watching the fighters, look for injuries, look for weigh-ins, all that good stuff. But it's good to get some of these over 1.5s or even the money lines in a little early to beat those lines getting so chalky if you're feeling high on them. So peace out, guys.